happy place, and welcome to our single parent support circle. So I'm a little late tonight. It's been a little crazy. I have a new puppy, and she's a little out of control. She's eating the couch and fighting with the cat. So things are going a little different than planned, but I guess that's a perfect segue into how to deal with joint custody nightmares, because that is also can be out of control and not going as planned. So when you think about joint custody, there's a lot going on. So I'm just gonna give you some quick things. First thing is there's three parts, right? It has to do with you, has to do with the kids, and it has to do with the ex. So keep that in mind. I'm gonna share one of my nightmares, and this is close to my heart, and I can still feel this inside because this particular day was one of the first trade-offs, maybe right in the middle. My daughter was probably about 5, and it was really, really hard for her to switch off. We spent most of our time together, so it was hard to have to go back and forth, and I tried to hype it up and stuff, but one particular night was just horrible. I brought her back. I don't know what she was doing, if she was at some kind of little activity. She was only 5, and I brought her back to her dad's house, and she kept saying, "Can you come in?" And she wouldn't get out of the car. So it worked out where I went into the dad's house, and she's like, "Can you just help give me a bath? Can you just help?" And it was every step of the way. She just wanted me to stay. And thankfully, my ex was willing to let me go in and help with these things, but then, it was time for her to go to bed, and it was just a nightmare. She was like holding on to me crying, and I was trying not to cry, and I was just thinking all these things like, am I allowed to just grab my child and just get the heck out of here, right? Because she was crying. I was upset. I didn't want to be in the house, and I didn't know what to do, and she's like, "Don't make me stay, don't make me stay." And it was just horrible, and obviously I can't remember if I was able to take her home or not. I don't know if I was, but it was horrible. And then everybody was upset. Everybody's crying. There's yelling. There's screaming. It was just a mess, right? So you want to learn from my mistakes. When you're in that situation and your child is a mess, you're just supposed to have grace and do what's best for the child, and not go back and forth and fight with each other about, it's my time, it's your time. Just try to work it out, especially in the beginning, because it's really, really hard. In the beginning, it's an emotional roller coaster. Everybody's upset. Whether you wanted to leave, you didn't want to leave, whatever happened in the relationship, everybody's upset, right? Because your family picture does not look the same. And it hurts when, everybody's suffering. Nobody is at their best. The kids are suffering, and both of the parents are suffering, and there's really no great solution to that. You just kind of have to get through it, and just take piece by piece. I know that there were a lot of nasty text messages, and there were a lot of emails and phone calls, and my best advice is to just be professional and try not to get caught up in the emotions. It is hell when you have to split your time in half and you're used to spending all the time with the kids. It's heart-wrenching. You'll miss that time. You always miss that time, right? You adapt, but you will miss that time. And you have to kind of go through it, just get through it. And the one thing about taking care of the kids in this, listen. Really listen to what they're saying, and give lots of hugs and cuddles, and, try to be as honest as possible. There was a point in my mess when my daughter didn't want to go, and I said, "Okay, well, let's write down the reasons why you don't want to go." And I wrote this big, long list of all this stuff, and I thought, okay, well, I'm going to call my ex and talk about it and see, I called. It was a complete nightmare. He thought I was lying, that I made this stuff up, and it just got to be really ugly, right? Really ugly. And I'm sorry, I took notes to tell you guys that. And I guess you just have to have like an open mind and talk to, the child. I was honest, I said, "Listen, you know what? This is what the court says. You have to split time with mom. You have to split time with dad. Yes, you're going to miss the other one, but they both want to spend time with you, and we don't get along anymore, so it's better we live apart, and that's what you do it, and you just have to get through the hard stuff. If you have to, be a mess, but try not to be a mess in front of the kids because it doesn't help, If the child's witnessing everybody screaming, everybody crying, you are their rock. You are their stable place. If it's a mess, it's not going to help them. They're dealing with a hard time. So if you have to scream, cry, throw things, whatever, do it when you don't have them, or make sure you leave. Don't do that in front of them. And try to be professional with your ex, no matter how much it gets on your nerves and how hard it is. And try not to show emotion, especially in the beginning. Because in the beginning, everybody is so upset. Somebody has to be the voice of reason. And there's something too that I didn't want to forget to tell you. Do not get caught up in your old relationship, right? In the old circle of crap that you guys did, calling names or playing game, whatever it is. Do not get caught up in that circle in co-parenting. Try to stay clear of that, right? Because otherwise it just gets a little crazy. But I will tell you, it does get better. Not too long ago, I was taking class, and my daughter was with her dad, and the doorbell rang, and I got the door, and I opened it up, and it was my daughter, and she's like, "Free pizza!" Apparently, they were down the street, and they made an extra pizza by accident, and my daughter had talked my ex into driving it over to my house. And I thought, well, that is really nice. We've really come a long way to do something nice for me and to be able to do that. So there is hope. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Right? Just takes time, and you have to put in energy. You have to imagine that you're both on the same team. And some tips for kids that I used to use with my daughter when she was really upset. And she didn't want to say anything. She didn't want to hurt the other parent or say anything. We would have a code word. And she would say, the code word, and I would know, okay, I would kind of be soothing on FaceTime without actually her telling me what was going on. I could still help her through that. And something else too is having a safe object that kids can bring back and forth, whether it be a teddy bear or a blanket or maybe a picture. That really helps too. It helps them have something safe to go back and forth. I'm just going to run through my notes, make sure I got everything. This is a really tough topic, and feel free if you want to reach out and share your nightmares, or maybe there's something I can help with, or we can help you with here, because it's not easy. Joint custody is best if you both realize that you're on the same team, and that being resentful and vindictive and spiteful doesn't get you anywhere. Not only hurting your child, but you're wasting your energy. You already know the relationship between the two of you did not work, right? So it's already on pins and needles. And I think the hardest part is to know that if you have joint custody and it's not going well, that other person has kind of control in a way that they might have not had before, right? I know I felt like that at a point that, okay, before I had my daughter all the time and I was just, spending that time, and now I get half the time, and now he had leverage to hurt me in a way that couldn't be done before because it was with my child. So stay away from that stuff. Learn from my mistakes. Well, I hope this message spoke to you guys, and if you want to drop anything in the chat or have any questions, feel free to put it in, and I will get back to you with the best advice I can possibly give. But it does get better. Just hang in there. Have a great night. One more thing. I was trying to do a Zoom support circle once a month, and I haven't really gotten any votes. I only have one vote. So I'm going to push it off till August, but please vote so I know. My intention of the Zoom support circle would be just for us to get to know each other and just, talk and maybe have a specific topic and we can all have a couple minutes. That's what my intention was. So let me know if you'd be interested in that. If you drop in the poll, if you keep scrolling down, that would be awesome. Have a great day, guys. I hope this spoke to you.